this is Margaret with Recipe Amateur Investigator. Today we're going to make a peppermint chocolate Yule log. So let's get started. It is a little lengthy, so be comfy because it does take some time, but it's made with love. So you're going to get 6 eggs at room temperature and you're going to put them in. You're going to set your oven at 350 and you're going to bake this for 15 minutes. You're going to get a jelly pan and you're going to spray the bottom with oil, and then you're going to put parchment paper on top of it. After you put the parchment paper on top of it, then you're going to put a little bit of light oil and flour. That's what I do because you're going to have to peel it off. So let me get my little whisker, because we are going to be whisking today, not beating. So let's put this in, and this is going to go pretty high temperature. There we go. So lock this in and go. While this is whisking, you're going to go ahead and whisk it with 1 cup of sugar. And it's going to get kind of like a froth on there, kind of a light pale color. I'm going to do it a little bit faster so it makes it. And then you're going to get salt. And you're going to get 3/4 of a teaspoon. Put my salt in. Meanwhile, I got my peppermint extract that we're going to add in. We're going to get some canola oil and some buttermilk. So while that is frosting, in this container, which are dry ingredients, I got 1 cup of flour. I added in 2 teaspoons of baking powder. I also put in 9 tablespoons of cocoa flour. I did a little bit deeper chocolate, you can do it 8, and then I sipped it a couple of times. You can sift 1, 2, 3, how many times you want to do. And that's what's in here. This is my dry ingredient in here. So once we get a froth on this, we're going to add in 5 tablespoons of canola oil, and I got about 9.5 to 10 tablespoons of buttermilk. So I'm waiting for this to get a little froth. Just do a little bit. It's almost done. You want to come take a look and see what it looks like. See how it's getting like a pale yellow and it starts to make a froth? So next I'm going to add in the canola oil. I'm going to add in the buttermilk to it. Let it mix a little bit. And then I'm going to lower this and I'm going to raise it up, and then I'm going to put my dry ingredients in here. Again, I got 1 cup of, can't even think, 1 cup of flour with 9 tablespoons of cocoa, and I used Hershey's cocoa, and then I also put 2 tablespoons of baking powder. And then I'm going to put it all in here. Let this mix, and then once it's finished mixing, I'm going to put it in my jelly pan and let it go ahead and bake for 10 minutes. And then I'm going to put in about 4 drops of peppermint, just a little bit. You don't want to overpower the chocolate. And just let it mix. And then I'm going to lift this up and get all this other scraped down. And then I'm going to put this in the jelly pan roll. Just a few more. And it's a little bit thinner, the cake batter on this, because you're going to have to let it go in the oven for 15 minutes. And you don't want to overcook it. You want to make sure it's sponge. When you touch it, kind of sponge back up, raises back up. Good. I could just Smell the chocolate with peppermint. Reminds me of Christmas. So now what I'm going to do is move this back a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. I'm using this as my jelly roll pan. It's just a cookie sheet, but it's probably by 10 by 15. And I put a little bit of oil, sprayed it on the bottom, and I put a little bit of spray with some light powder, flour. And then you're just going to roll this, put this in here, and make sure it spreads. Because it's kind of thin. Make sure you get the corners. And that's it. And then we're going to put this in the oven and let it bake for 15 minutes, and I'll be right back. So it baked for 10 minutes, for 15 minutes. As you see, it's kind of how it bounces back. That's good. That's how you want it. Then you let it rest for 2 minutes, and then you're going to get a clean kitchen towel. You're going to put some powdered sugar on there so it doesn't stick. And then what we do is next, making sure, we're just going to, trying to see which way it comes so short, is flip this over. Okay, let me do it this way. Let me turn it this way. Try this. Okay. And I'm just going to flip it over on here. Make sure it's powder sugared. And then push it down. Raise your pan back up. There. And then you're going to see that I'm going to remove this. Just peel it back. And just go slowly because you don't want to try to rip the cake. Over here. See how I get it over here. Just fix it. There. And next you're going to get, you have to roll it quickly. So this is what you do, is you get the powdered sugar on the cake, and then fold this here. You want to come closer so you can see. And now you just get this cake and you roll it. Like the Tootsie Roll. And now the time has come that we have to let this sit and cool completely. And then we'll make the buttercream, peppermint buttercream filling and the chocolate ganache for top. So right now we have to wait until it's completely cool, and I'll be right back. So now it's time to make the peppermint buttercream for the frosting for the inside the Yule log. So I already have in here a stick and a half of unsalted butter. I already put in about 6 tablespoons of heavy cream. I put in 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and I got already 2.5 cups of powdered sugar already in here. So I'm going to keep mixing it up because I'm probably going to have to add a little bit more powdered sugar. I got some peppermint bark, and I'm just going to put a couple of squares in here to give it a little bit of peppermint flavor, and just break it up and put it in. I'm just using like two big squares. And this is, like I said, this is going to be the filling inside the Yule log. Okay, well that's working there. And I also put in a pinch of salt, just to let you know, just a pinch. Then I cracked some candy canes, and you're going to keep some, and then you're going to put some inside of here. So I'm just going to put just enough that you need. Perfect. I think that should be enough. And I'm just going to take a look at it. See how nice the frosting is? This is the stuff that goes inside of it. So let's take a look. Just want to taste it. Tastes really good. So I'm going to set this to the side. Now this is the challenge part, is unrolling this and then sticking it on top. So this way we can stuff it. And then I'm going to make the chocolate icing for the top of it, the glaze. So let's see if this works. So I'm going to unroll it very, very easy. Perfect. So far, so good. If it cracks or has a little crack, it's fine, because we're going to roll it back up, and then by the time we cover it with chocolate, it should be fine. So next I'm going to get this. And it's okay, because it's going to come out to the sides. That's why you're going to use a towel, and then we're going to transfer it, put it in a pan. Let me just put this here for right now. And we're just going to put this on. Shift it. I could just wish I could smell this chocolate. It smells so good. Kind of looks like the ice cream. Okay. Here. Put this all in. And just kind of spread it the best that you can. And then, like I said, we're going to roll it back up. And then we're going to put this in the refrigerator to let it chill in just a second. And then I'll show you what it looks like. Some underneath it. And just a bit more. Here. Just a little bit more. Okay. So now that we have it all iced up, we're going to roll it again. So put that in here. So I'm just going to re-roll it. Let me start. Maybe I'm going to do the other way. Give me 1 moment. Kind of breaks. If it breaks, it's okay. Like I said, I'm going to show you how it's going to look like. There it is. Now we got this. So I'm going to put this on top of here. And then I'm going to make the chocolate syrup for it. So give me just a second. What is this? It's 1 cup of chocolate, semi-chocolate chips. I I wrote down my notes, 3 tablespoons of heavy cream and 1 teaspoon of chocolate. And then we're going to put 4 tablespoons of powdered sugar in there in just a second. Just melt it. And then I'm going to take out mine to show you what it looks like. Just a second. It's pretty. Chocolate and stir it. I might have to put it in just a little bit more. And I'm doing it at 30 seconds at a time. So give me 1 moment. Let's put this back in. And I'm going to get a fork, so we're going to make it look like a log. Get this out of the way. And like I said, it's okay if it has a split, because by the time we cover it with chocolate, it's going to be fine. Let's see. Chocolate's melting. There. Now the chocolate's getting good. And then I'm going to get about 4 tablespoons of the powdered sugar. Put it in. 1, 2. Oops. 2. And if I do, I'll just put a little bit more creamer in there in just a second if I need more. So, and when you mix this up, and it's stirring up, see, start to make it. Chocolate smells good. I'm just going to put just a touch of the heavy cream to thin it out just a little bit. And then I'm just going to put this back in the microwave just for a second so it's hot. So when I pour it, it just pours right over it. One moment. It's a lot of little steps. It's probably about, takes altogether probably about a little bit over 2 hours to do this. So, one moment. There it goes. It looks good now. And then you just get it and you just pour it on top. And let's just let it go. And you spread it. See, it's covering all the cracks. And make sure it goes. Work on this side first. See how it's going? And work on this side. And you don't have to put the chocolate on the sides if you don't want to. Okay, almost done. Make sure this is done over here. Okay, and just a little bit more on this side. This is something fancy for Christmas or for the holidays to do. Something to impress people with. Did you make that? Yes, I sure did. Okay. Okay, we're going to let that sit. Just want to get the rest of this chocolate. Put it right here. And then with your fork, you're going to make it kind of look like a log. So you're just going to get your fork and just drag it. Kind of just drag it around. Like that. Kind of makes it look like a little fire log. And do it this way. And then I'm going to put this in the refrigerator, but before I put it on the refrigerator, I'm going to put some more little peppermints on top of it. Just sprinkle some on top. Just a little bit. You just need to put, you don't have to put a whole bunch, unless you love peppermint. And that's what it looks like. Pretty cool, huh? Nice. So let me put this in the refrigerator. I just made early this morning. I can pull some of this bigger kitchen. And this is the one I made today. See how pretty it looks? It looks like a log. And let's taste it now. You want to come closer so they can see it? Pretty it looks. And then I'm going to get a plate. And take something like this one. And then I'll cut it so you can see what it looks like. Can't wait to taste this one. Nice. Okay, and I get my little. This way you can see what it looks like inside. You see the cream, and then there's the cream on the cake as well. And let's see what it tastes. It tastes like peppermint. So it's a chocolate peppermint. I outdid myself. This is a recipe I made up too. I kind of looked at different people's recipes, couldn't find the recipe I like. So I put this one together and I'm so happy. I tried my very first recipe on my own. If you like this recipe and like to see other recipes from me, please follow me hit subscribe. I'm also on Facebook at Recipe Amateur Investigator. Join the group page. And if next time I'm going to be creating some other little things like some hot chocolate bombs, I think that's going to be my next thing I'm going to try. But again, thank you for coming in my kitchen. Happy holidays, and I hope your family enjoys this special treat as much as my family will. Bye, guys.